Good morning, everybody. Let me see. There's something about sitting in the same position that I find it very helpful for my practice. Once you find the way you like to sit, I recommend to sit in that position all the time. You know, it can be in a chair, it can be on the floor, it doesn't matter. It can be cross-legged, it can be standing. You can even stand if you want. But if you go back, if you find a position that is comfortable for you, that you feel it helps you to go in and to relax the body and the mind, go back to that position over and over. Then I realized that the body recognizes that particular position as meditation. So every time you take that posture, naturally the body falls into a deeper place and the mind follows the body. When the body relaxes, the mind tends to relax too. And also the whole system recognizes, oh, we meditate now. This is meditation. Okay. So there is an association in the system with that particular posture, position. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But it's important that you go back, at least for me. I go back to that same posture and naturally, very easily I fall back into a meditative space. Of course, some days more easily than others. Yeah, some days the mind is like, woo-hoo. Other days it's like, shh, silence. And it's always changing. But it does help to have that, to send that message to the whole system through using the same body posture when you practice. That's my experience. You can experiment with that and see if it's true for you or not. Always, whatever I say, always make sure it's your own experience. Because Shastro said that, let me check it out. Yeah, don't take it for granted, for God's sake. Otherwise, we are on the wrong path. Each of us has to find his own path, which is unique in everything, including how you sit. I mean, physically, including your posture, whatever it is. So experiment, inquire, make it your own experience, and then you decide for everything. Then you go like, okay, he said that, but actually this is better for me, something else. Good. No problem. I don't take it personally. I'm just sharing my experience, but it doesn't mean it's going to be yours. Yeah. If my experience, if sharing my experience is in any way inspiring of any help, well, that's probably what I'm here for. But your experience is the most important thing, not mine. So remember that. Go back to yourself. Explore, experiment, and decide, this is good for me. And that's so important to realize that, yeah? Even if you have a master, which I'm not, even if you have a master, I haven't had a picture of my master today, but if you're lucky to find a living master, or even if it's not living, you can find a master that is not in the body anymore, that's okay. But if you find a master that you resonate with, really, that's the right word, resonating. Yeah. Some people ask me, well, how do you know which is when you find a master, and how do you know it's your master? And you just know because you resonate. Your whole body, your whole system resonate to such an extent that you feel like, whoa, that is me. That the master is a mirror of yourself. So for my experience, for example, when I first pick up my first Osho book was a little booklet. They were translating them in those years. And I opened the first page. I didn't know anything. Who's this guy? I just said, well, look, I'm going to take a nap, but my afternoon nap, right? That's part of my sadhana. But I was not so sleepy. So I said, well, all right, let me read something. And a friend of mine had put this little booklet on my library. So I went, let's see, this one. Just one out of 100 little books. One was of Osho. Well, my hands went there. I don't know why. Well, I know why, actually. And I pulled it out and I opened it and I read the first page and I was like, wow, this is not possible. This is me. So it was like reading black and white, crystal clear, my own truth for the first time. I found it just like expressed so impeccably clear, crystal clear, that there was no doubt. I mean, this is my truth. That was my truth, not his, not somebody else's truth. So there is no thinking about it or doubting or wondering when you find your own truth mirrored in somebody else. It's obvious. You don't need to think about it. And that's what the master is. The master is a mirror that it shows you yourself. And so you're not surrendering to anybody. You're surrendering to yourself. You see? So and even with the master, whatever he expresses in words, let's say, you still have to verify for yourself, is that so for me or not? Yeah, let alone with me, that I'm not a master. Yeah, always go back to your own personal experience. Because even in my now 40 years with Osho, I still have to bring back whatever I hear from him, bring it back to make it my own experience. Yeah. And sometimes what I hear him saying is like obvious. It is already my experience. I don't need to think about it. I don't need to try it. I don't need to verify. I already know, because immediately in the moment I hear it or read it, I perceive it as, yes, that's my truth. Like when I read that first page, no? And other times, because he said so much, he spoke for like 50 years, and there's like 500 plus books in his name. So imagine that. And all the books are spoken words translated then in books. He never wrote anything. So imagine how much he spoke. Imagine how much he said. Okay, in 50 years. He said it all. So even now, and in these 40 years, whenever I hear him saying something, then I have to go back to my own experience. And day by day, cut my own path. Yeah. With that guidance, which is really helpful, no doubt. I mean, if I didn't have a guide, sometime I wonder how would my life been? I would have been, I think, very different. And having a guide like that, I feel it made everything like much faster. My whole process of my own unfolding, it was much faster. Probably I would have gone in the same direction, but like a snail, like a little snail, like carry my little house with me. So it helps. It helps to have a guide to speed up the process. But you would go in that direction anyway. That's the most important thing, because you are on your own path and you create your own path as you move along. It's nobody else's path. It's your own, unique, as all of us are unique. You can't find two people that are the same, exactly the same in the world. That's amazing abundance of existence, isn't it? So much variety. So much variety, so much richness. So if there are 1 million people you look at, you will find 1 million individuals, because even a little bit, they will all be different. That means each of them will have a different path. So each of you has his own path. And only you can find it and trace it as you go along. Nobody else can do it for you. That's a big responsibility, isn't it? But beautiful. That's freedom. Yeah, so freedom comes with responsibility. And responsibility comes with freedom. You have the freedom to be yourself, completely yourself, and completely free. Unbounded and untied and unaffected by anything eventually. That's total freedom. Even free for your mind eventually. Because the mind is just a collection of concepts and belief systems and memories. As we spoke about it many times, mind is useful, but we make it to be ourselves and we believe it too much. So that's why I say eventually you want to free yourself from that identification. Not that you free yourself of your mind. You'll need your mind. Keep it there, but put it in the right place. Yeah. When you don't need it, you put it in the closet. So you stay here. You put it in the closet and then you take it out when you need it. That's what we want. Then you're the master. Then you are in charge of your own life, 100%. The mind otherwise is the society, is what the egoic mind is what we have absorbed from the world. And the world knows nothing about truth, let alone your own truth, which is unique. Nobody else knows about your own truth. Only you can know that. So the mind as a collective phenomenon is definitely not holding any truth, even though it's very good in figuring out things and solving problems. Or we're talking about much deeper than that, a dimension that is formless, which is consciousness, which mind cannot even perceive or conceive of. Well, it can conceive because we've heard so much about it. But again, that's just a thought. Even that concept of consciousness is just a concept until it becomes an experience. So again, you can hear a lot about consciousness, but what does it feel like? Where is it? How do I find a place in my center? Back to the source. What does it feel like? And with practice, it becomes a little easier. Every time a little more easy to find the path to that place. Sometimes it's a long process, gradual. Sometimes it's immediate and sudden. It doesn't matter. All the options are open. So then you make that your own experience. Hearing me or anybody else talking about it, it's not enough. That's why we divide even this session in, a little bit of guidance and then a little bit of practice and then a little bit of sharing. That's very balanced. Some guidance might be inspiring. Practice, then, it's the most important thing, though, because that's where we get in touch with our own space, our own truth. And sharing is beautiful because we have an opportunity to be in a sangha, in a group. And sharing is very connected to the heart, oftentimes. And that is very important too, because we're a social being and we have a heart, which has a very important place in our life, and it should have an important place. You definitely can let go of your mind, but don't let go of your heart. And that's what's help us communicate also, sharing, the sharing that we do at the end. It's beautiful, no? And we become mirrors for each other. We see ourselves in the other sometime. Or sometimes we become a support for the other. How beautiful is that? So yeah, life should be a little bit like these sessions. A little guidance, it's okay. Some inspiration. I get my daily inspirations too. I mean, beautiful. I still have my master inspiring me, and other teachers too. Then we have our practice every day if you can. And then stay in your heart and share with people if you have something to share. Love. Love when you can. Because love is the closest thing to truth there is. You know why? I think because existence is made of love. The very stuff existence is made of. We could call it love because we don't have other words. But I mean, it's a love even much bigger than what we can conceive. But I think there is a lot of that quality in the very core of existence. So when we love, we connect with existence too. And when you don't find anybody to love or to share the love, just go out, hug a tree. I do it regularly, just love everything, not only people. Love the sky and the clouds and the flowers, and enjoy what they transmit to you. And you can also transmit something to them. So I remember somewhere reading, I think it was Eckhart Tolle that said, when you have this communion with the tree, when you look at a tree and you become present with that tree, you give that tree also something very valuable. And he said something like, that tree has been waiting for a million of years to encounter your consciousness. And you represent also the peak of evolution of consciousness as a human. And so you're reflecting that to that tree, and you give him a lot. You give it a lot to that tree through that presence. So the tree can give a lot to you, but you can also give a lot to the tree. It's a beautiful thing. Huh? So I have my favorite trees I go back to. A couple of them are like twins. They grow next to each other. And years ago, they were completely covered in ivy. It's this creeper. Beautiful. Well, it was suffocating them. So I found them in the forest. And so I said, okay, I have to remember to come next time with a little hand saw. So I did. Finally, I remembered. So I went down in the forest one day with a hand saw. The ivy was like so old. It was like this thick, and it was completely like suffocating the tree. So I freed them. And yeah, that was a nice way to also give something. They would have probably be dead by now, who knows. Another time I remember many years back, I was, why? I was walking on this little road, and I saw this tree, and something caught my attention. I was like, well, and I turned around, and this tree had some barbed wire from an old fence wrapped around. And you could see, it was been there so long that the wire was entering his bark, and he was trying to grow, but it was so constricted there by the wire. And you could see the bark was bulging around the wire, and it was just like, wow, such a constriction. So I went there, and I actually managed to pull the wire out. And in the moment I did it, I swear I felt such a relief in my whole being. It was like, it's like I could feel the tree going like, oh man, years of constriction. And then I don't know if I imagine it, but every time I walked by there, that tree was just like happy to see me. It was just like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So we don't realize it that, they're all beings. They're all beings. Trees are beings like we are. We can love them. We can be in love. We can feel them we can exchange energy. We can sit under their shade. Some trees are just beautiful to sit and meditate under. I had another big tree that I used to go and sit there, I remember. And every time I would go and sit under there, it was just like quiet, so quiet. And I felt like I was with a friend, sitting with a friend. We keep each other company. Yeah. So there's a lot of different beings in this world, in this beautiful planet. A lot of beings to share your love and your presence with. Yeah, not only humans. Okay, yakety yak. I'm talking. I'm coming. Where are you going, Shastro? I'm wondering. I'm coming here. Okay, now that we're here, maybe we can sit together a little bit. You ready to sit a little bit? Okay, make yourself ready. When you're ready, just close your eyes. Bringing all that attention now inward. Starting to feel more. Moving into feeling, into perception. Feel the closest thing to you in this moment. The closest in the sense that is more obvious. Starting from the body. Feel the body from inside. And notice, how does it feel? Try to bring your presence, your awareness to every part of the body. As a one unity, bring it everywhere, particularly in the areas where it needs attention because they're still holding something. Go there with your awareness and let go of any little tension still. And if it helps, you can take a few deep breaths, helping with every out breath to release. Notice where you perceive the weight of the body. Maybe there's a increased pressure on your buttocks, on your legs. Feel that contact with the cushion or the chair or the floor. And feel that increased pressure provoked by the weight of the body and the attraction of the earth. Let yourself feel that sink in, sink down. Or let yourself fall down. As if you're sending deep roots into the ground, into the earth. Grounding yourself into this very place where you are. Here. Relaxing and grounding. Relaxing into the earth. It's also what we call grounding. Perceiving your Hara center in this moment, also connected to the earth. 3 inches below your navel inside, there is an area which is your gravitational center. See if you can perceive that also connecting to the earth. Letting the earth energy flood your belly. That's also grounding. Relaxing your belly and let it be flooded with the gravitational energy. Rest your attention there in your belly. Rest. Feeling more and more here. present in this place. We also become aware of sky energy, a gentle upward pull perceived to the top of the head, helping us to align the spine, keeping the back erect. As if the upper part of the body becomes lighter as the lower one becomes heavier. Like a tree, we have deep roots in the ground. We also fly high with high branches in the sky. Like a mountain, the mountain peak is the top of the head. Very well grounded, actually part of the earth. A mountain or a tree is really earth extending upwards, trying to reach the sky. So they're both part of the earth. They're reaching for the sky. That's how we are. So is the human body. We are part of the earth. Through our body. We are part of the sky. Through our formless spirit. And in this moment we sit between these two, connecting earth and sky, body and spirit, form and formless. Like a bridge. It's all inside of us. So we bring our attention to that inner space. Witnessing anything that is perceived. Without getting identified with it, but observing it and allowing it and accepting it with joy or with compassion, with lovingness. And lovingness, loving witnessing. if or when the mind gets busy, you just come back to these perceptions of being a bridge between earth and sky. Our first anchor, or any of the other anchors. You can come back to the breathing, or you can use sounds to bring you back to the present moment. Especially when the mind gets busy. And when you feel grounded again, then you can just even release the anchor if you want. Just witness the space. Witness the empty space inside. And anything perceived within that container. Remembering that you are the container and not the content. You are not the object that are observed, but you are the observer. Keep observing. Perceiving. Feeling. Slowly coming back to the group. It went very fast today. Sitting. At least to me, it felt like 10 minutes. But it was more than half an hour. So we leave some space now for some sharing. Let's practice that, the third part. Some sharing from our heart. Heart to heart. Who wants to start? Nikki.
Hello everyone. I'm still a bit in my blissful space, so, I'll try to talk. I'll find my voice. I just want to share something about what you said about Osho and how I actually became aware of Osho was when I was still in South Africa with my teacher. I call him my teacher because it's such a special word for me. My teacher Basho. Um, and the first time I can't remember whether it was a meditation session or a yoga session, but he always spoke before the session. And when he spoke, I just cried and cried because it felt like, wow, I identified and um, just everything that he said was my truth, as you said.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop crying. So for many weeks with these sessions, I just cried and cried. I couldn't believe that it felt like finally, you know, it was just amazing. To discover that. And I didn't know Osho was. It was through Basho that I learned who he was. And thanks to Basho, I'm here with you now. So because it was him that suggested that I listen to your music. And I could never have dreamed at that time that I would be here. And yeah, attending retreats with you. So it's just wonderful. Thank you so much for everything and for the group and for our Sangha. It's very special.
And we're going to see each other in person soon. Huh?
Yes, I can't wait. That's also a miracle. Yeah. And I just want to something else maybe briefly share because it's something that's hard for me to put into words. It's untouchable. And you remember a while back, I was not in a good place. I said I was lost and all of that. And I'm still sitting every day, several times during the day, and I'm doing things, not the things I think I should be doing, but the things that my heart wants to do. Um, And the universe has been very kind to me these past 2 weeks, I would say. I received lots of messages. Things are falling into place. And this, what I'm going to say now, I don't know if I'm expressing myself in a way that other people would understand, but I passed a threshold. So I know I'll be leaving from where I am now. I've done my work here and I'm going elsewhere. I only feel energetically where it would be, but and sometimes I have in my imagination flashes of real places. So basically, I know where it is, but not precisely. And also through my art journaling, through writing and creating, there are lots of things coming through. So yeah, I have a very good friend in this group, Samaya. So I share with her. She's a wonderful friend. I appreciate her so much, and and so yeah, she's the only one that I shared what I wrote, and yeah. But it's a wonderful feeling. I'm not lost anymore. I'm excited. I don't know where I'm going, exactly what I'll be doing, but it will be revealed to me. So yeah, it's, it's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Yes, it will be revealed. That's an amazing thing. It's a fine line that 2 days ago I posted something about trust, and trust is a quality that arises slowly. As we cultivate our practice, because the more we uh, get in tune with ourselves, the more we get in tune with existence, because we are part of existence. So how could it be otherwise? And the more we get in tune with existence, the more we feel, wow, we realize I didn't even ask to be here in this body, and yet it happened. You know, I'm not making my heart beating. I'm not breathing. It's not me that is breathing. If it was me, it would be very dangerous because I would have forgotten already a million times. And I would be dead. Yeah. I'm not just becoming aware of the miracle of this body and how it works. Everything is working by itself. Yesterday, I was looking at a documentary on the human body, and at a certain point, they said, listen to this. When we look through our eyes, we, the light goes inside in the black middle part of the eye. I don't remember what it's called. And then it reaches the retina in the back. And that, they said, that is in nature the place where there is the most compression of information is back in the back of the eye in the retina. Because the retina then has to send a message of that light they perceived to the brain. And listen to this, it sends 10 million impulses, 10 million messages in 1 second to the brain. It's like, what? 10 million impulses to the brain every second at an incredible speed. So I'm like, what? Whatever created this, just that, just realizing that, just get my little mind to try to understand that. It's so overwhelming. It's so above anything man could have ever dreamt of or created that it just leaves me in awe. And it can only bring a sense of trust in me, and humbleness to realize, wow, I'm so grateful to be in this body that nature created so that I could be in it. And the perfection of this body, I mean, it's above any human comprehension. It's so above. We think man is creative. It's nothing. What we have created is nothing compared to what existence is. It keeps creating every moment. So to feel this incredible awe, it also brings an incredible trust because it's very humbling and you feel like I'm just like it. I'm nothing. And yet I'm completely careful. I'm here, I'm in this body, the body is breathing, I'm alive, I'm experiencing everything through it. What a miracle. And then when we cultivate that trust, we just in humbleness let go of our little ego into the arms of something that is so vast, like existence is. Yeah. And really in humbleness you can do that. And you can only trust. That trust grows and grows. And so in that trust, then you're able sometime to be in that space where you don't really know. Maybe you have to make a decision which might be life-changing, like you, no, in this moment, or like me in this moment. And that's why I'm here. And the mind is necessary, but at a certain point, it's not the mind that can make the decision for such a big decision, life-changing decision. It comes from somewhere else. So allowing yourself to remain quiet, even though you're facing such a big decision, not to let the mind come in and try to figure it all out because it will not be able to. It's much bigger than the mind can. So allow yourself to go back in silence and stillness and trust that guidance will come when you are in that space. Because if the mind keeps spinning and spinning, there is no space. It's like last time we were talking about the empty cup, remember? There's no space. The cup is full of thoughts. It's completely stressed out, trying to figure it out, and is not managing. There is no emptiness that can receive any message, for example, any insight. So trust again to allow yourself to empty yourself. There's time for thinking, and then it's okay. Let go of thinking and go back to emptiness, stillness, silence. Because then out of that space, the insight, like you said, and knowing arises, which is not knowledge, which is mental. It's knowing because it comes from your very being. So that's beautiful, the way you explained it, you expressed it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Rafa, tell us.
I had a lot of thoughts, and then I was making me empty, and then was happening something interesting because I'm I'm sitting every day, and I'm experiencing the sometimes I'm perception in my body, and I'm sensing something in my body, and I'm try to go with it, and some things are happening. And this time was two interesting things. Um, I was sensing the emptiness and I was a little bit scared, and then suddenly I was sensing the harmony around me,
Mhm.
and then I was sensing the harmony inside of me, and I was sensing how my cells are making whoa. And what I wonder is it that what are harmony, all my cells, so that all my cells in my body are working together, and um, that's a miracle. The,
Yes.
and this harmony, this connection is love, and I was sensing I am love. What is happening in my body? Because I'm not just Raffaella. I don't know how many million of cells. There are everyone is making her job and helping me to exist.
Yes.
And at the same time, I was sensing from my aura center, I had something that I want to grow, to go outside. At the beginning, I was thinking it's because of uh, the pandemic, and then I was just to be present and to love, and it's important because I'm in the last 1 week I'm feeling I want to give my energy, or to be with my energy, and what is stopping me is all the rules that I should be the nice Rafa, the working Rafa. I don't know what I was learning, and I was feeling the different quality of be present with my love and to do and to create, and uh, what I should be, and yeah, that's interesting. Just things.
Yeah. Very interesting. Yes, thank you for sharing that. There are moments when we touch into more and more into our center. And yes, sometimes it feels like, whoa, a lot of energy, something like, whoa, sometimes in your belly, you might feel it, or in your heart, and sometimes in your head. The energy moves, doesn't matter. Moves up and down. But definitely the belly is like the engine sometimes, it's just like, whoa, sometimes it starts all from there. That's why it's important to connect with the earth, with the belly, like we did in the beginning. It's a nice way to ground ourselves. Even when we have so much energy that we feel we can't handle it, just go back then to your belly, grounding yourself. And it helps you to handle a lot of energy too. Sometimes you feel like, oh my God, I have so much energy, you feel speedy, you don't know what to do with it. So just connect with the earth. That helps a lot. But yeah, what you describe of feeling a different part of you starting to express itself through that energy, and then seeing the egoic self that gets scared because it's like, whoa, wait a second, I've been on the throne for 30, 40 years, whatever it is, and now you're gonna put me aside? No way. So the ego is always afraid to lose control, of course. He's afraid because he's not real. It's like a shadow. So it doesn't have any strength in itself. It doesn't have any substance. So ego is based, the foundation of ego is always trembling, is always in fear, because he knows that he's not real. And when something real, different starts happening, it can be scary, for us. Even just that experience of emptiness, like you said, can be scary, because it's like we're so used to identify with something, always something, objects, experiences, objects. And suddenly emptiness is like, whoa, 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 where am I? Then who am I? There's just emptiness, can be scary. Absolutely. But with practice, we get more and more familiar with that. We relax. Okay, wait, it's okay. Okay, there is some fear. I can see it. I don't need to go with that. I recognize that there is fear, and that's okay. I want to stay with this space right now. I want to stay with emptiness. Let me explore that too. Why not? Why do I have just to explore what the mind already knows? Let me explore something that I don't know, the mystery that I am. Yeah. So then we learn slowly to allow ourselves into the mystery a little bit at a time, because sometimes it can be too much, too scary otherwise. That's okay. Then we do it gradually. Or if we're crazy enough, we just jump in. All of it. Just, jump into it. Doesn't matter how much fear is there, you just jump completely in. As we were saying, there is a gradual approach and there is a sudden approach. They both work. Yes. Thank you for sharing, Rafa. It's like that. Miki, did you want to add something?
Sorry, I just thought of something that's related to what Rav has said. In my soul writing this week, I wrote at one point, Samaya, you will remember, I wrote, I embrace the union of energies within. It might have come from you or something, but it's from my subconscious mind. So I embrace the union of energies within.
Yes.
Just a sentence, but
That's a good sentence.
thank you.
Petra? No, sorry. I thought you raised your hand.
Sorry, I was just saying goodbye to my friend.
Yeah. Vivian wanted to say something. Vivian, you have to unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi.
I just quickly wanted to share that since last 3 weeks, perhaps you talk something in the other about love. More or less, I happen to catch it as a love theme. Like the other day, you talk something about the partner and then simplifying and everything, just love. And, I don't know what exactly happens, but this just opens up the stuff inside me. It's like, I don't know even when and how some doors of my hearts were accidentally closed. But since last 3 weeks, it just feels more and more opening up, and it just like the whole week after the session goes so easy. Even sometimes I just wait for you to upload the same session online and just reconnect with the this whole session. But it's just to share that it feels so much of opening inside me. I mean, I don't know how, but it's just like so easy and so much opening inside me. And it feels more relaxed.
You look more relaxed. Your face is changing. Your face is showing that change too.
And this 1 hour just works like miraculous. It's just half day in India and I'm working from morning and a lot of meetings and this stuff goes in. But like just I wait for a 12 o'clock. So it's in as per India time, it's 12 o'clock when we have your session. And then I just wait for a 12 o'clock and I just leave everything and jump onto this, and just 1 hour totally transports into some other space. Like I just cannot express, but it just works miraculously. Sitting with Sangha and so much of love overflowing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing your heart. Beautiful. It's a big heart that you have. It's a beautiful big heart. So it's just like being awakened. How beautiful is that? Let it flow. Let it go, girl. It's big and it's ready to explode. Let it explode. Let it overflow everywhere, all around you, with everything and everybody, and within you. It's a beautiful heart you have. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Yeah. We all received that love from you in this moment, Divya. Yeah, that's sharing from the heart. We all got some of that heart, of your heart in us now. What else wants to be shared? My friends. Can you feel it? Feel how much love is in this silence among us. Beautiful. As simple as this. Just allowing ourselves to rest into love, into silence. And often that silence is filled with love. It happens to be filled with love sometimes. But looking at all your faces, I just see love. Beautiful beings. Beautiful, beautiful beings. And knowing that you're all over the world in different places, everybody with his own different reality, different world, and yet we come here together too. As if we're answering a call, isn't it? We're answering a call. And we're here to support each other in that answering. We support each other to hear that call and to listen to it, follow it. And that's why we're here together. And then we say goodbye, and everybody goes to their own life and they follow their own call. They have a little more force behind it, more certainty. yeah, that's what I need to do, to just answer that, listen to that. Okay, much love to everybody, guys. We'll see each other next week. Inshallah, next Friday. Let me kisses.
Thank you.
Much love, guys. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Namaste.
See you.
Namaste.
Namaste.